think it can run on water. Hello there, and welcome to the If It Swims podcast, the multi-species angling podcast. I'm Bret Bolton. Joining me for episode 17? 17? We'll say 17 is Dave Spear.
17 sounds right.
Close enough. This month, we've got some recent trips, some fishing news, and we will go over any updates on the carp ladder. Plus, we will introduce 4 new baits.
Oh, making my life hard already.
As always, we kick things off with recent trips. I'll jump in first because I'm betting Dave's is more interesting. Dave got off an airplane about a few hours ago, so I know it was better than nothing.
There you go.
My month has been a series of ponds and small lakes, fishing for carp on the carp ladder on the weekends, and I finally passed cheese, folks. And I did catch a few.
Yay!
I know. A few catfish on the way, too, let me tell you. And fishing a pond near my day job. And by the way, anyone thinking of starting a podcast, well, do it, but you're not getting paid. So fishing that pond for bass on topwater frogs at lunch.
Nice.
I've been averaging about a bass every couple days, which is good enough for me. And it beats browsing the internet on my in my office, right?
Yeah.
And I'll just watch a bass blow up in a frog, whether I hook it or not. It's just fine. Hopefully a little more interesting next month, but I did spend some time on the water, and that's all it's about. So, Dave,
that's cool, man.
Where have you been?
And I got to tell you guys, Bret and I had this conversation earlier this month that for those of us that got to work for the man for a living, there's something about lunchtime fishing.
Oh,
you can fish before work, you can fish after work, and many times I've gone and I've fished before work, but you kind of feel like you're on the clock. And when you go fishing at lunch, you're still on the clock, but you also feel like you're cheating a little bit.
Just a little bit. If the pond's close enough, you can get some time down there too.
Exactly. Well, I did much the same as you this month.
Mm-hmm.
The vast majority of my month was spent chasing bass, carp for the carp ladder.
Right.
I am stuck currently on hominy, which I know should not be a hard bait, but I think I've just hit some factors. I don't know what they are. They don't seem to be spawning factors, but I've fished spots that I've been very successful in and just blanked for whatever reason.
It's hard to keep on the hook, though, isn't it?
The hominy. Now, I Googled it, and for all of you future carp ladderers out there, or those of you that haven't passed hominy yet, this does work a little bit. So I got the canned hominy, and rather than sealing it up in a bag and, in its juice or whatever, I dump all the juice out and just leave that Ziploc bag wide open. And the longer it stays out, the gummier and firmer it gets.
Interesting.
But it does still have that hominy tendency. If you've never fished with hominy before, just split the second the hook gets even it sees the hook and it goes, oh, I'm going to split in half.
I know. The one I caught, I put on a hair rig.
Even with the hair rig, I was splitting them.
Really?
Yeah. And that could be my redneck hair rig.
That might be your
as well.
That might be your needle. Folks, I've seen a picture. His needle is was it a 1/4 ounce jig?
Yeah.
Saltwater jig you've straightened out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, technically it was 3 of them because I've left 2 of them behind on the bank.
Oh, no.
Accidentally, I look around. I'm like, how do you lose a jig head that's got a bright fluorescent chartreuse head on it that's sitting right next to your gear? And yet, they don't manage to make it back in there.
I gotcha. But yeah, I had to use a hair rig for them.
Yeah. Yeah. And in fact, so I have some hominy in my fridge that's been air dried a little bit from my last session. But if I happen to open it up and it stinks real bad or something, I think what I'm going to do next, if I have to buy more, is literally spread it out on a paper plate and put it in a fridge for a couple of days.
Sure.
You know how fridges dry things
dry
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it smells great. It just falls apart.
Did you eat any?
Yeah.
Why is that stuff so good?
Mostly because I don't think I've ever eaten hominy before.
Well, is it a Southern thing?
I think it's a Southern thing. And I think it's what they make grits out of, maybe, which I have had.
They do. I think they make grits or can make grits out of hominy or do or can. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
look at us.
I do eat
hominy
grits.
Experts.
Not much. I don't love grits, just like regular breakfast grits. I'm not eating that. I can't do it. I've tried so many times, Dave. I can't do it. But throw some cheese in there and a little bit of shrimp, and I'm in.
Right. Shrimp and grits. Yeah, that's classic.
Or there's a restaurant near me that does a redfish and grits.
Ooh,
it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, you had me with anything fishy and grits, whether it's shellfish or regular fish. That's
right. It's tasty, isn't it?
I also did a lot of bass fishing. Mostly I've been like 3D printing. I've been designing and 3D printing lures. Yes. Designing is a little bit of a tough. I'm more like ripping off designs.
Sure.
And trying to get a specific action, And so I'll print something, then I'll go fish it the next morning, catch a bass on it, send a picture to the guys and be like, well, this one works. It's weird, but it works. And then go back to the drawing board. And and I just, as Bret said, I just got off a plane where I was in Hilton Head, South Carolina.
Nice.
And I ate grits at least 4 or 5 times.
Really? There you go.
Yeah. I had them with my breakfast. I had them with my brunch. Let's call it brunch.
Sure.
Nobody's getting up that early.
Not on vacation.
Now, technically, I had done very little pre-research, but it was a family trip. It was a surprise my wife's dad trip.
Mm-hmm.
And they had chosen the location. So, and the thing out there appears to be, at least for fly fishermen, is fishing for reds in flooded grass when the grass floods and they come up and eat crabs. And I did not do that, and I didn't do it for a few reasons. A lot of which was weather. The way the weather wasn't very conducive for sight fishing. But I did get to see I did get to understand it based on the other fishing we did, because wow, are the tides big in South Carolina. Wow.
Compared to our coast here, yes, they are.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, they're not the Alaskan or the Finnish tides of 27 feet, but like
not the Bay of Fundy.
No, but we had a 9-foot difference in water level the day we went out on a party boat.
That's a lot, man.
And it's crazy. You're driving over little bridges and stuff. And my wife looks at me. She's like, what is all that black stuff? She's like, that's all oysters. And they're like 5 feet out of the water. It's crazy.
Weird.
And full. All those little grass that it looked like Sportina grass. I don't know if it was Sportina, but all that grass is full of fiddler crabs the size of a dime or a nickel.
Man, I bet the red just gobble those things up, don't they?
They're everywhere. Like everywhere. Yeah. Yeah. That was cool.
Are they always everywhere, or do you think it's a late spring thing and those are babies?
Oh, I don't know. Could be, because I've seen fiddlers on the Texas coast only a couple of times, being in the right place at the right time, and they were much, much larger.
Yeah. I've seen fiddlers in North Carolina that were the size of a regular blue crab. So
okay. Maybe what we were seeing was babies.
That would explain a lot at once too.
Yeah. 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 Cause they were, I mean, it was like, we'd stop off and there'd be a little boardwalk to a fish and pier, and they'd just be running everywhere.
That's fun.
It was cool.
Was that what was hiding out in your bag in that picture?
No, those were different kind of crab.
Some other crab.
They look like a blue crab, except they were black.
Okay.
They're just a regular old crab, but they didn't have pinchers. Weirdest thing.
Weird.
They had 8 legs. They didn't appear to have 10. They might have. If they did, they were very small. But these were also very small crabs. They were like the size of a dime or a nickel, and I was catching them, taking pictures for my grandkids.
You didn't send one. You did not send one in the surf, did you?
I didn't. They were smaller than my hook.
Fair enough. So how'd that part go?
Surf fishing went okay. So I did a little bit of creek fishing, where a creek, jumped into the sound.
Yes.
And I did a little bit of surf fishing, and then we went out on a party boat one day, but it was an inshore party boat.
Okay.
It was specifically a shark fishing tour.
Nice.
But it was a little bit slow for some reason. We didn't catch a lot of fish, but I did see the smallest hammerhead I've ever seen in my life. It was the size of a hammerhead.
Really? Wait.
Well, the head was the size of a hammerhead and the body was the size of a hammer handle.
It was a hammer.
It was that small.
Wow.
Well, I saw a larger one get caught too on the boat. I caught a dusky shark, which I'd never seen before.
I'd never seen one of those either.
Yeah.
But it's a fish.
And stingray.
Yeah.
You know, my wife caught a stingray. I caught a stingray in the creek, you know.
It's new. It's different species than you catch normally. So it's fun.
Exactly. Now, the surf fishing was very much like Texas surf fishing in that I caught exactly two species that I've caught many times before: hardhead catfish and whiting.
Hardhead? I thought it was a. I didn't look at the picture close. I thought it was a gaff top.
I thought it for a second. It was a gaff top. It had really long. Had really long whiskers. I have to go back and look at the pictures. Yeah, it might have been a carp.
Either way, it was a catfish and a whiting.
Yeah.
Which is not a good day on the Texas coast.
It was fun.
Although, you know, whiting are delicious.
We were going to be on the beach that day anyway. It was actually...
That's the trick.
It was like the 6th day of our vacation and the first day I made it to the beach. And I know that sounds terrible, but it's Hilton Head is a very different than any beach I've ever been to before.
Mm-hmm.
All the beach is public, but there is no open beach anywhere. And the island has lots and lots and lots of trees. And so it's like a 1/4 mile to a 1/2 mile walk to the beach.
Interesting.
No matter where you are on the island. And so there are public accesses, but the public access will be something that's about half the width of a normal sidewalk. And it's running through private property, and there's no parking on the other side of that sidewalk. So
odd.
It's not like it's impossible to get there. You know, the people we were with, the other party, they went several times, but it's just like we were a little farther away. They could walk from their condo, you know.
Sure.
It was fun.
But it was fun. And on a day that you're going to the coast anyway and going to the beach to hang out, if you could throw a rod out, it's not a bad way to try and catch something, is it?
Yes. It was fun.
Nice.
I will say, fishing with a 6-foot spinning rod on an umbrella holder.
Yeah.
In other words, the butt of my rod is 6 inches below the sand level.
Mm-hmm.
You definitely have some problems with the line and the water and the grass and the water.
You're pretty low.
Yeah. The angle of attack is not great.
No. I could see that. Too bad you didn't hook something stupidly big on that little spinning rod. That'd have been fun.
Right?
And there's always a chance.
Yeah, they say so. I had, did just very little research, and I looked to see about licenses and stuff. And apparently it's illegal to target sharks from the shore in Hilton Head.
Interesting.
And everything I read was you're going to catch them anyway, but you can't, it's a zero. You can't keep any of them.
Okay.
And everything I read when I was looking for spots, people are like, well, you could go here and hope for some, some trout or some red drum, but you're going to be dealing with the inevitable sharks. And I kept waiting for the inevitable sharks to show up, and they did not.
Right. Because that was wouldn't have been that bad, would it? But it was a good trip. I'm glad you made it out.
Yep.
And fish some different water for a change too. It was nice, wasn't it?
Yeah. It made for a good May. It was fun.
Yeah. Good. Water tastes different over there?
No, not really.
Okay.
Not really. And surprisingly, being on the Atlantic, I thought it would be a little bluer than it was. I guess really. They've had a lot of rain, so there was a lot of silt. It wasn't ugly by any stretch of the imagination, but it was very much like our Texas Gulf Coast. Okay. It was brownish.
It was silty, yeah.
Yeah, it was silty.
It was full of actual dirt.
Yes.
Not dirty, just full of actual dirt.
Right.
It's hard to explain the difference. Oh man. That's awesome. I'm glad you made it out. You need to catch up with me on that carp ladder too. Justin says he's going to pass me.
Yeah.
That'll be great.
Justin's busy battling an epic fish right now, and I have a feeling when he finally reels it in, we're all in trouble.
Yeah, I think so. Oh man. So let's share a couple news stories. I'll let you kick it off.
Okay.
Did you find something?
I've got you a story from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Interesting.
Site, clearly a TV news site called News on 6.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to skip the headline because I think it'll be more fun this way.
Oh.
This is from Shawnee, is where it actually occurred. Rising waters across Oklahoma have created some unusual sights, including one that's equal parts unexpected and entertaining. In Shawnee, floodwaters turned the parking lot of Fire Lake Bowling Center into a temporary fishing spot. Bret's nodding his head, guys. He saw this one too.
I did, and it reminds me of something we've both done in a different manner. Yes,
that's right.
It's a good story.
Nathan Williams, a well-known outdoorsman and champion noodler, spotted a gar swimming in the shallow waters between a nearby creek and a river. Naturally, he jumped into action by hand. Now, Williams, he's the founder of Adrenaline Rush Adventures, and he is no stranger to grabbing fish barehanded. But he admitted this was a first. I never thought I'd be able to noodle while we're bowling, but here we are, he said in an Instagram video. Williams told News on 6's Tess Mon that he did not keep the fish. Instead, he relocated it to deeper waters so it could return to its natural habitat.
Mm-hmm.
Tess Mon, an avid noodler herself, this is the reporter that wrote this story, by the way, once joined Williams and his sons on a hand fishing trip for a News on 6 outdoor life segment. The fast-paced segment gives viewers a first-hand look at the unique sport through the eyes of two passionate Oklahoma noodlers. If you want to see more of Nathan's outdoor moments, check out his YouTube channel. It's called Adrenaline Rush Adventures, and he does noodling and all kinds of other adrenaline-fueled adventures across Oklahoma.
Yeah, I've seen those guys noodle.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Snakes.
Snakes are my second concern. No, the snakes are my third concern.
Third concern after what? Nutria?
No. Alligator snapping turtles.
Oh, yeah.
And my second concern is the catfish they're noodling for.
Yeah.
I'm afraid I would grab one big enough, it would just swim off with me, right?
Just drown you.
Yeah. I mean, it happens. I'm scared of those things. And also, if I'm waiting and a piece of grass touches me funny,
yeah,
I'm freaking out and running. I don't know why. It bugs me. So there's no way I can put my hand up under something. My body wouldn't let me do it, you know?
I don't think my body would let me do it either. I don't like stuff touching me under the water any more than the next guy. So,
yeah, I mean, I've been out at on the flats for carp, and like a stick swung over and just slapped my leg.
Yeah,
and I am sheer panic for about a second and a half. It goes away, and I'm all right, but It gets me good.
But you're like the cartoon elephant jumping onto the chair when the mouse goes by. Yep.
I think I can run on water.
Yeah.
Or it certainly seems like it. Get out. I don't know why. It might be snakes. I'm not scared of snakes, but I don't want one between my legs either, you know?
Right.
Ooh,
right.
You know? Or
Snakes
whatever
don't
else
particularly bother me, but I think the number one reason I don't want to noodle it is snakes, and it's probably not the most likely thing, but it is because guys do get bit by cottonmouths and stuff.
Do they?
Their hands in dark.
I didn't even know that was a thing. And you know, there's a big. It's a good word for it. A large discussion on how ethical it actually is. Because they can absolutely take the largest fish angling, you're kind of up to chance to a bit, right?
Oh, sure.
They feel them, find the biggest one, and they can pull it out. Now, if they're catch and release noodling, well, no, doesn't matter. But I know they can actually they can damage the population more so than a angler can.
Sure.
Which is interesting.
mess up the biomass, which is something that very few fishermen know anything about, and
including me.
Yeah, I was just about to say I'm no expert on it, but it's this thing.
It's this thing, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And it's also it's illegal in most states, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Oklahoma allows it. I don't think Louisiana does. Texas doesn't. And maybe it's, for all I know, it's just Oklahoma. I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
We don't look things up live.
That's true.
It's a rule we have. We just don't know.
Meaning all of this cannot be used in a court of law against us.
Right, exactly. I heard those guys say it was legal.
That's right.
So I've got one from the Sun.
Okay.
And it's a bit of a wild one.
All right.
A fisherman out of Peru, Maximo Castro, 61 years old, set out on what was supposed to be a 2-week trip. Just him, the ocean, routine stuff, nothing crazy. Fast forward 95 days later, and he is still alive and still floating out there.
Oh, wow.
It seems a storm blew his boat off course, hundreds of miles off course, and knocked out his engine. So no radio, no motor, and no help coming. Just him drifting alone in the Pacific, probably somewhere between, wow, this sucks, and I'm going to die. So what do you do when you're alone in the boat with no food or water for 3 months?
So wait a minute. He didn't have a millionaire or a movie star.
No.
Or a skipper.
No, he did not.
This wasn't Gilligan's Island.
And don't forget, they had an island.
Yeah. And this guy was stuck on his boat. I assume just drifting in the open.
Drifting out there, yeah. For 3 months. Apparently, you eat whatever you can grab. Mm-hmm. Turtles, birds, cockroaches. I guess they were on the boat already.
Yeah.
He got sea turtles and roasted them over a small fire in the boat, collected rainwater, and even ate some birds raw.
Oh.
And the last 2 weeks to eat, there was just nothing. He lived off of determination, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said thoughts of his family were there every day while he was out there. And when he finally got rescued by a fishing vessel from Ecuador, 680 miles from land.
Oh, wow.
When he got rescued, he found out he became a grandpa.
Oh.
His daughter had a baby while he was missing.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man. So no word on how Maximo caught turtles or birds on a drifting boat. But I do know this. The next time someone tells me they're hardcore because they fished through a thunderstorm or skipped lunch to land a carp, I'm bringing up this guy.
Yeah. Suddenly skipping lunch to catch a carp doesn't seem so manly.
No, it really doesn't. Or that thunderstorm that we've all sat through. But yeah.
Wow.
That's nearly 700 miles off course.
95 days. That is a long time to be alone with your thoughts, even if most of them are, I'm going to die. What am I going to eat next? I'm going to die. What am I going to eat next?
Right. No, you're right. People who do the on purpose isolation, camping and stuff for long periods of time, it can affect their mind considerably.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that part. Maybe you're so focused on trying to get the next turtle or bird, you're gonna that you can push those thoughts down a little bit, right?
Yeah,
that's crazy. But he seems to be okay after got some food and water in him.
Sure, and that hungry, but
yeah, and you can't have much of a fire on a boat.
Right, I know. When you said he was cooking sea turtle over a small fire in the boat, I'm like, okay.
Apparently, he built this. Apparently, according to the story, he built a small fire in the boat enough to cook the turtles. I think he was eating some of the birds raw, but I think turtles he felt like he needed to, I guess.
I imagine if he was out there for 2 weeks, he had some sort of cooking apparatus.
Right, yeah, I'm sure he may have had some sort of stove with him was the plan anyway for 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, he probably didn't have 95 days worth of fuel for that said stove, or
probably not. You're right. You're right.
And since he lost his motor and thus his electricity source,
right, yeah. What a crazy story. Did you find anything else?
Oh
no.
I found other stories, but I think for me, I'll leave it at the guard noodling.
Gotcha. Well, in that case, I got one more for you. Just because it's a great story.
Awesome.
Here's one from lifescience.com. It says Scott Tanner was 30 days into a 42-day fishing trip off the coast of Nova Scotia, hauling in redfish and cod, and it's not the same redfish I'm thinking of, I'm guessing.
Sure.
There's a lot of fish called redfish, I'm guessing, right?
It's not a red drum /
not a
channel
red
bass.
drum, I'm sure. It's just redfish.
Yeah.
When something utterly bizarre comes up as a bycatch. Tanner, a seasoned fisherman from Nova Scotia, found something unusual in his haul. He spotted a roughly 3-foot-long fish with a long, pointy nose, narrow tail, and 2 prominent fins that resembled bird wings. And the eyes were glowing green.
Okay.
The crew's reaction was, "That's weird. I've never seen it before." It wasn't moving a whole lot, and after snapping a photo, Tanner watched it as it went away on the conveyor belt back into the ocean. Curiosity piqued, Tanner did some research upon returning home. The mysterious fish was identified as a knife-nose chimera, also known by several aliases: long-nosed chimera, narrow-nosed chimera, big-spined spookfish, and bent-nosed rabbitfish.
Nothing about the green-eyed sword or anything.
Scientists refer to most of them, or refer to it specifically as Heriota rolagna, and they're often called ratfish. I'll post a link to a picture of this thing because it is bizarre looking. Other than the looks, it is a cool fish. It's a distant relative of sharks with a skeleton made of cartilage, and they're found between 0.5 and 1.5 miles deep. They navigate the ocean floor using those long wings in a figure-8 motion, which is
weird,
bizarre to me. And that long snout are equipped with electromagnetic receptors to detect heartbeats of prey. Dominique Dieter, a biology professor at Millersville University, summed it up well, saying, "They're the coolest fish on the planet. Ratfish rule."
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, I agree with Didier. We need some Ratfish Rules shirts.
Yeah.
In the If It Swims shop.
Right.
Oh, man, you got to see this thing. It is bizarre looking. It's pointy on the front and pointy on the back, and it has weird wings.
Looks like something a kid cooked up, right?
Yes, it does. Looks like something I would draw.
Right.
Oh, man.
I draw a really cool fish. It's going to look like an arrow, but it's going to be an angel with devil eyes.
Yeah, and it's going to move its wings in a figure-8 motion.
Yeah, I had to pause there and think about that. It's like, I think, I'm probably wrong about this, so sue me. I think hummingbirds flap their wings. Yes,
similar. I'm guessing similar.
And I was starting to think to myself, is that kind of like, we just don't notice it? Is that kind of like how all fish pectoral fins work? Is kind of like a little bit of a figure-8?
I bet the pecks do that a lot, and that but they don't swim with those. They just
That's
dive
true.
with them.
That's more of a steering apparatus,
right? Yes, that's what it is. It's a steering.
The swimmy bits on the end.
The swimmy bits behind them.
Yeah. That's Bret's favorite phrase, right? Coddle peduncle.
The quaddle peduncle.
Would you check out the quaddle peduncle on that lunker?
We used to say that a lot. It was very funny.
Yeah.
And very bizarre. People looked at me like I was insane.
Right.
Go figure.
Yeah, and you guys caught me. I pronounced it wrong. See, I've never really known how it's pronounced.
I think you got it there, didn't you?
Yeah, well, I imitated you the second time around.
Oh, fair enough. And for all I know, Dave, I'm saying it wrong.
You're right.
I mean, I didn't go to school for biology.
The first word's a mystery and it ends in peduncle.
Peduncle, I think I have okay.
Right. Okay. Any other pronunciation of that would be wrong.
I've heard caudal.
Caudal.
Yeah, but I think I've also heard quaddle more, and quaddle sounds funnier, so I'm sticking with that.
Yeah. Sounds like a fish is trying to waddle through the water.
Yes, exactly. You want to talk some carp ladder?
Oh, let's do it. Let's do it.
Right.
Oh, by the way, before we get into the new baits, though, you got to brag a little bit. So Bret's on top here.
We'll get to him.
And what I want to know is, what number? Because I kind of have a mental picture, and I know where you're at now. So was cheese and French fry? Was that 6 and 7?
That was 6 and 7.
Okay, all right. So you're 7 stories up there, man.
Yes. Although on the leaderboard you're walking down.
Oh, well, you're 7 stories below ground, gasping for air because you're chasing insanity.
That's the way I pictured it in my head. Well, first of all, the software, the website's built on WordPress, and I couldn't make it go up very well.
Yeah.
So I made it go down. So you're just climbing down into insanity. It makes perfect sense.
It does.
So yeah, we're 2 months in, and things are still weird.
Yeah.
Oh man! Before I get too far into it, I want to remind you can sign up for the Carp Ladder at ifitswims.com on the webpage now. There is a sign up and an entry form for your fish there, or you can still email these to us at carpladder@ifitswims.com. It will get you on board and go from there. There are a few fish on there, but since the leaders right now are Dave and myself, it is open for someone to jump in and take this thing over.
That's right.
As you would expect, Dave and I are not eligible for prizes, and we're printing some of the prizes ourselves anyway. So jump on, get some stuff. It'll be fun. So let's look at that leaderboard, shall we? Yep. So it has me at number 7 on French fry. And Dave's highest is the unflavored chickpea. You're only 3 behind me, Dave.
Yeah, only 3.
It's not bad.
But let's not forget that between me and you is cheese, which took Bret exactly 63 outings to achieve.
No, it took about 2 weeks, didn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. I felt like you were going a lot for him.
I was. So many catfish, man.
Yeah.
And I know that catfish, you can buy cheese-flavored catfish bait.
Yeah.
So I know this is a thing. But that doesn't mean carp don't like it. It just means the catfish are also there.
I strongly think for some reason in Texas, where Bret and I are a couple 100 miles apart, but which does make a difference as to when they spawn. But we're after the spawn at this point. And
it's done. I
don't know. I feel like there is like a 2-week gap there where the carp just were like absentee. I don't know what they're doing.
They're resting.
They're resting, I guess. Maybe they do something besides. I thought they only spawned or ate. Maybe they rest after they spawn.
Maybe so. So I'm up to corn nut. I did lose 2 fish, 2 carp, and I know it was carp because I caught them at the top of the water.
Yeah.
On corn nuts. I was near a restaurant, and I was chumming with corn nuts, and they were floating, and I got 3 carp up on top, eating them. Nice. And I had to go to an ultralight to cast to where they were. I got 2 of them to eat a corn nut off the top of the water. And this restaurant is 20, 30 foot out into the water and just standing on concrete pilings. And I wasn't past the pilings. I was beside them.
Yeah.
So the path between where we were in water was through them. It did not work out well either time. It was worth it. It was funny and it was weird. And there were people at the restaurant cheering.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, wait a minute. Last month, we told the story of the guy that caught the enormous alligator gar on 2-pound line.
Right.
And here you are with an ultralight setup.
4
just
pound.
Trying to catch a little 4-pound carp. What's wrong with you, man?
I'm not as good as Art Weston.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Me either.
Next question.
When you said that they were on top and you were throwing a corn net on an ultralight, like I've fished some pretty small stuff on spinning ultralight gear.
Yeah.
I don't think I've tried to throw the weight of a small hook and the weight of a corn nut, which I assume those two things together add up to something like 128th of an ounce at the most.
It's not much. It's not much. Honestly, I had to fling it out there and then pull out line and walk backwards. So I was no longer spooking the carp.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
So part of the cast was me backing up.
Yeah.
It was worth it. I'm going to try to get one in a more normal manner.
Yeah.
But that was a lot of fun. And corn nuts float. They're fun. You think the other baits you had were tempting to eat while you were out there?
Yeah.
Man, I think I ate half those corn nuts.
Well, I bought corn nuts already, and there was several rungs between where I was and corn nuts. But when I had to run to the store for some hominy, for some more hominy on my last hominy trip, I just thought to myself, go look and see if they have corn nuts here. Otherwise, it's going to be one of those things like we talked about how you'll see them at a truck stop or gas station and you'll get some.
Yeah.
But I'm like, this would be one of those things. If I'm looking for it, I can't find it. And so I found some and I bought a big bag because I knew I was going to be snacking.
Yeah. They're pretty tasty, aren't they?
I won't let myself open them until I get to that rung. But once they're open.
Yeah. So here's a funny story. I went ahead and I was going to go ahead and the day I was fishing corn nuts, I went ahead and got the raisins for the next ones.
Yeah.
I couldn't find raisins, so I bought trail mix. And I'm eating the nuts and M&Ms
and the
out
M&Ms
of it, and leaving the raisins in the bag.
See, that's exactly it. Like I imagine it'll be like the corn nuts. You couldn't find raisins. We're going to go and we're going to be looking for Twizzlers, right? At some point, red Twizzlers, and you won't find them, and then you're like, oh man, what am I going to do? And you're going to have to go
find
to 4
these
different
things.
stores.
Yeah. No, that could be an issue. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's look at the next ones. See how weird it's really getting, right?
Right.
All right. Starting at rung 13. Hot dog.
What?
Hot dog.
Hot dog. Okay.
Hot dog.
My brain stopped when you started to say something and I didn't catch it all. Hot dog.
Because I said it funny. So hot dog, Vienna sausage, or other sausage. I'm really hoping someone uses those teeny little cocktail weenies.
Yeah, little Smokies. And you can eat them while you're out there on the bank.
Yeah, well, that's another problem too, right?
Yeah.
And again, much like cheese, catfish might be a problem.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah.
But we do know carp will eat this. In other parts of the world, that's a common bait for carp.
Sure.
They don't have as many catfish. Rung 14 is the Swedish fish.
The Swedish fish.
Actually, Swedish fish is the bait that started this whole conversation originally.
Oh, okay. Okay. I get it.
Yeah.
I wasn't there, but I could see it.
Yeah. And actually, we're going to go with Annie gummy. Gummy bears, gummy worms, etc.
Sure.
But Swedish fish is a particularly amusing one.
Right.
But if someone wants to use the gummy worms, I'm going to rig one up, wacky worm, and catch bass when I'm waiting.
Well, exactly, right? We talked about that last month
with the Twizzlers.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. I've got the Twizzlers yet anyways. I'll do it there as well.
Right. Swedish
15?
fish. I might have to try to find actual Swedish fish.
Yeah, because it's funnier, isn't it?
Yeah.
See? That's the nature of the thing. 15? Oh, wow. This is going to be fun. A piece of pineapple. Oh, canned, fresh, it doesn't matter.
All right. I can tell you right now I'm going with fresh. And of course, it'll cost
I know why.
more. But the only reason why is because I'm going to leave the rind on it to stay on the hook.
Exactly my thought. I was going to leave the rind on it so I can hair rig it rind side out and have something to hold it in place.
Yeah, there you go.
Exactly. Oh, so it'll be odd. However, I've caught many carp on pineapple boilies.
Sure.
It's a very common flavor, so we know they'll eat it.
Yeah.
But who's ever used a hunk of pineapple before?
Well, there's probably some people out there that are even weirder than we are, so.
Maybe so. Maybe so. And
we're trying to draw them out of the woodwork with this content.
We are. Come and help us. And 16, Dave, is one that you have not fished with yourself directly, but you have chummed with.
Oh,
Dog food kibble.
Dog food.
Oh, yeah. So
I think I might have actually fished with dog food once. Maybe.
Well, maybe so. We know they'll eat it, obviously.
Yep.
There's some extra trips you can use with this one. If you have the right locations,
yeah,
you'll get them. Dave, the one time I went fishing with you, and you didn't throw the dog food out. Somebody else did. So it was a natural hatch.
A natural hatch.
I don't know what happened to with that carp.
Yeah.
On the fly rod.
Yeah.
My tendonitis in my elbow was bad for 3 months after that fish.
Oh, wow. Huh.
I think partially because it was someone else's rod.
Yeah.
And it was a left-hand retrieve, which I don't do.
And
I don't hold a fishing rod in my right hand. And it destroyed it. I cast right-handed.
Oh,
but just that pressure on it destroyed it.
Well,
that was
where I've caught carp on dog food or on top water imitating dog food.
Yes, that's what this was. It was a blast.
Are all deep and the fish go down in bulldog hard. As opposed to going as opposed to running out in a way.
Bank fishing, which is normal for carp, they take off.
Yeah.
If you're over deep water, straight down and I tore my elbow up. Isn't that weird?
Wow. Yeah. Dog food, huh? All right. Well, I guess we knew it had to come sooner or later.
We did. So that's 13 through 16. Hot dog, Swedish fish, pineapple, and dog food.
Those are all super fun.
It just gets weirder and weirder, doesn't it?
Yeah. Eventually at some point when I realized that, first of all, as we've mentioned, we can't win, right?
Right.
But as I realized that I'm not going to get all this work at some point, it might be 8 months from now, 7 months from now. I'm going to be like, man, this just sounds like fun. I'm going to take 6 rods out. I'm going to fish 6 of these baits at a time, which is not how we would do the contest because you have to catch the fish in order.
Right.
But just for the fun of, I never got the Swedish fish, but I want to try it,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That was a long time ago. We talked about using Swedish fish to catch a carp. I don't know why that came up.
Probably somebody was snacking on them.
I'm sure, I'm sure it's how it happened, But yeah, once again, folks, sign up for this thing, jump in. It's insane. There are pictures on our Instagram and they are bizarre looking. I'm trying to keep the bait in the picture with the carp.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard. The French fry picture should get posted in a couple of days. It's on the webpage now. And there's a Whataburger bag with French fries beside the carp because that's perfect. Oh man.
So I got another carp ladder question for you.
Yeah.
This is a tactical question because one of these days I'm going to get the corn nuts. So when you went and drilled your corn nut, did it try to break?
No, there's I don't know how to describe it. Corn has that other colored thing in the center.
Yeah.
I drilled right through that and went right through.
Oh, okay.
I was imagining drilling long ways through them.
Yeah.
But once I had one in my hand, it became pretty clear. I'd just go sideways and go put 2 on the hair and called it done.
Yeah, because I kind of been wondering about that. We've had that on the list here for Corn Nut announced a couple of shows ago.
Yeah, I know.
And I was thinking one of these days I'm going to get there. And when I started having trouble with the hominy splitting in half, I was like, man, I wonder if Corn Nuts are going to be like the ideal hook bait or if they're going to be horrible.
Once you drill them, they're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you buy a baiting needle, if you actually buy one, Dave, it often comes with a little hand drill. The same.
Yeah, I used to own one of those little rigs,
and it just doesn't take much to go right through it.
Yeah. I'll probably be raiding the toolbox on the way out to the fish. And just like finding the smallest. What it was, a 1 millimeter or a 1/16 bit or something. Yeah,
no, they're not hard to drill. The old ones. The old ones before they got softer might have been even easier to drill through. They changed the recipe.
Oh, okay.
People were cracking their teeth.
Yeah, I can see that. I remember them being really hard, much harder when I was younger.
Now they're not nearly as hard now.
Yeah.
They're probably a lot easier to eat now, but they're still hard. There's no joke. I bet those carp are using their
they're crunchers, whatever.
They're crunchers.
What do you call those things?
Pharyngeal teeth on them.
Yeah, pharyngeal teeth. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. God, we're so smart.
Oh man, crushers was the word I was trying to think of. It wasn't crunchers, but crushers.
With Corn Nuts, that would be crunchers. So it's perfect.
Yeah.
So yeah, sign up, guys. Jump in. Since Dave and I are not suitable for prizes, I want to see some more names on there. As it is right now, there's one other name on there, and it's my wife.
We're not suitable for prizes. I'm not even sure that we're suitable for common society. So
that's an excellent point. But we are. There are some prizes popping up, and I sent word out, guys, to some other potential sponsors.
Oh, cool.
For carp-related stuff.
Sure.
Maybe it's prizes.
Sure.
Like a bait drill.
Yeah, right. Poor Dave's going to have to buy one. Not that they're expensive. I just haven't got around to it, folks.
Right. I mean, the set I'm using now, I had a nice set a long time ago, and I have no idea where that is.
Yeah.
So the set I've got now is straight from Amazon. I think it was $2 for the needle and drill,
Yeah.
Oh, man. Anyway, jump on. Let's go. It'll be a lot of fun. Hey, you have anything else, Dave?
No, I think I'm all tuckered out this month.
I know you are.
Fishing.
Right.
And we had some pretty funny news too.
There was some good stuff in there. So there's more info on the carp ladder, pics from recent trips, and all things If It Swims can be found at ifitswims.com and on Instagram at if_it_swims. All links to find us are available in the show notes, along with links to items covered this month. Our music was written for us by Dallas artist Jeff Hewitt. Join us again next month. Join the carp ladder, tell a friend, and as always, we will see you out there. See ya.
I guess that's a wrap.